everybody who is here on the 25th of December, which is the anniversary of Jesus Christ. And we are very thankful and very grateful that Dr. Sheikh Ansari is among us. Sheikh Naim is with us to start the discussion today. So before we start anything, let me start with some basic information. That Batool is known in North America for doing things out of the box. Our mission is to propagate the teachings of Islam and Ahlul Bayt, and to educate and facilitate the arrival of Mahdi and Isa ibn Maryam, also known as Jesus Christ. On the anniversary of birth of Jesus Christ, son of Mary bin Zikriya, we welcome you to this informative session at Imam Barga Dar Batool. Islam, and especially Shia faith, has a very special relationship with Christianity. Christians are people of book according to the Holy Quran. Allah allowed Muslims to eat with them and marry with them if they are monotheists, meaning they believe in one God only. Monotheism is a belief that there is only one God, all supreme, and who is universally known as God. We start with the first wahi of Allah that was sent to the last prophet of Muhammad, peace be upon him. It was verified by Varqa ibn Nawfal, who was the cousin of Hazrat Khadija. And he was a monotheist who believed in the Prophet Muhammad's prophecy. Tradition says what he said was, there has come to him a great law that came to Moses. Surely he is a prophet of Allah, and I will strongly support him. We also remember Eid al-Mubahala celebrations, the famous event in the 10th Hijrah, when a party of Christians led by Bishop of Najran called Abdullah Masih came to debate with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his progeny about the nature of the Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him. Argument had reached a deadlock concerning the nature of Jesus. Was he a human or was he divine? Quran tells us in Surah 361, tell whoever disputes with you on this matter after truth has come to you and to your knowledge, come, let us summon our sons and your sons, and our woman and your woman, and ourselves and yourself, and let us pray together and invoke the curse of Allah of those who lie. The Christian delegation withdrew from the challenge and negotiated a peace treaty. How can we forget a couple of other important parts or lessons from the history about John, who was in Karbala with Imam Hussain alayhi salam on the 10th of Muharram, bar khushnudi Imam Zamana buland tar salawat. Now John was newly married and he sacrificed his life with Imam Hussain in Karbala. John was a former slave of Hazrat Abu Zar Ghafari. And we also remember that in the history it tells us that when Imam Hussein's head was taken in Syria, the head was given to a Christian priest, who took care of her head. And he washed the head on the stones and combed his hair and gave him perfume. So on and so forth. Today we are very lucky to have two scholars among us who will teach us about Quran and what Jesus, son of Mary, and the differences and similarities between Islam and Christianity. With that, I will ask Dr. Ansari to please come and have a seat, and I will also ask Sheikh Naim to please come so we can start today's program. Bar khushnudi Imam Zamana, buland tar salawat.
You're from this part?
No, you're the guest.
I don't know.
Yamin.
Yamin, thanks.
Please have a seat. Bar khushnudi Imam Zamana buland tar salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, we have not previously decided, the topics other than two issues which are very important. Number one is Jesus according to Quran and what Allah says to the Muslims about the life and the miracles of Jesus Christ. The other part will be what is the difference and similarities between Islam and Christianity. We live in a non-Muslim country where our kids go to school and they sit with atheists, they sit with Christians, Sikhs, Hindus, and many other denominations. But predominantly, we are living in a Christian country. So our kids should know, and we all should know, what the Quran says about Jesus Christ, the Son of Man. So I'm not going to take more time. We'll pass the mic to Sheikh Ansari to start today's program. Bar Khushnudi Imam Zamana, Bulantar Salawat.
Don't compare with the Quran. Allah bless you, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. وصلى الله على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين والرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين وبه نستعين. Let's make salawat also for the health of and the occultation of Imam Zaman. Salawat one, salawat Sayyid Muhsin, Allah bless him, inshaAllah ta'ala, he read a verse from the Holy Quran which is, what can I say, the jewel, showing Ahl al-Bayt. Thank you. Prior to that verse, there is a challenge. What is this challenge? This challenge says that Jesus, Salamullahi alayhi, is God himself, came in that format. Now, this needs a special, maybe 10 sessions in order to prove. How can Allah not be a human being? See, what's that entity? So they said, and Allah answered it. What did He answer? This is Al Imran, okay, number 59. Let me read it in Arabic, then I quickly read it in English. إن مثل عيسى بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن مثل عيسى عند الله كمثل آدم خلقه من تراب ثم قال له كن فيكون. Now if you guys got the Arabic, you can verily, this is in English, verily, the likeness of Jesus, Isa, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, before Allah is the likeness of Adam. Now, think. Adam did not have neither a mother nor a father, right? But Jesus had at least a mother. And I could say about maybe 14, 15 years ago, I was at the University of Detroit, Mercy. I said, today, that is 2000, and, 10, I think it was 7, 8, whatever it was at that time. I said, today it is proven that you can have a baby without a father by cloning. They have proved it even. But the government is saying that's against the law, so we understand. So, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala proved this miracle 2,000 something years ago about Jesus, what is that? To Allah is nothing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I'm going to read the English for you, vary the likeness, like Jesus, before Allah, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the likeness of Adam. Salamullahi alayhi. He created him from dust. Then he said, be. He told him. And and he will be kun fayakun. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not that big of an issue. Let alone if today a human being can make a cloning. Allah couldn't make a cloning 2,000, 4,000, 10,000 years ago. He definitely could. Of course I faced a bit of a resistance, because I was at the University of Detroit Mercy at that time, and that is a Jesuit, and they consider he is a god, stuff like that we said. So therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that this is the likeliness of Jesus. And then in the next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that is the truth from Allah. And do not be among the ones who refuse it, but they still refused it. So therefore, Allah said, send this verse that brother Sayyid Moses read it, and he said, and whoever disputes this issue, let's call our women, our sons, our daughters, and let us make a damnation. We stand up before Allah. It's either you're right, I'm right. Either he is Allah or he is not. And we make a damnation. If I was right, I'll be damned, I'll be doomed forever. And if you're wrong, you will be. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has read for us. I read it in Arabic for you. He said it, brothers, I don't want to. This subject, brothers and sisters, is extremely diverse and deep. Please study it. Allah blessed me. I've written one book, and it's been translated in English and Farsi and Arabic. In English, I wrote it in English, but the translation in Arabic is there too, and the Farsi is there too. And I wish someone would come and translate it to Urdu. Because, let me put it this way. Today, we're talking about today. Now, this verse that Brother Sayyid had read came 1,500 years ago, 1,450 years ago. The Quran, when it came down. Today, our beloved sons, daughters are studying at their schools. Please know, what is their tactics to bring our children into their way? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Holy Quran, they will not be satisfied with you unless if you join them. And of course they use anyway, peer pressure, whatever. I'm sorry, I think it's time for my brother to speak as well. But it's very, very deep. Please understand, inshallah ta'ala, and I will try my best in order to show some of these. And if I have time, I will compare the birth of Jesus, salamullahi alayhi, to the birth of their book. This is their book. What is this book? Right? Okay. This is the Bible, right? So, how Jesus is born here, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about Jesus. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Sorry, brother. I think I took too much of your time. Sorry.
Take as much time as you
Yeah. Go ahead. Listen, if you give this to me, I need another 5 weeks to speak. Truly speaking. So go ahead, brother.
खुशनूद इमाम ज़माना बुलंद तर सलावत
Allahumma
salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Respected doctors, scholars, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum. I'm honored here again. Thank you, Sayyid Mohsen, for organizing this beautiful session. I would like to talk about the similarities and differences in religion when it comes to Nabi Isa alayhi salam, also known as Jesus, Jesus of Nazareth, or Jesus, son of Mary. Now, when we look at Christianity and Islam, it's all a monotheistic religion. Monotheistic religion is known as to believe in one God. So when we look at Judaism, Islam and Christianity, all of these religions believe in one God and they believe in a specific book. So for example, when we look at Christianity, they believe in the Bible, also in the Quran, referred to as the Injil. The Judaism religion believes in the Torah, also in the Quran, referred to as the Torah. As for Islam, it's the Quran. And also the Quran calls us the Quran, right? Now here, when we look at these two religions and we compare them in regards of their beliefs, they believe in prophets. So, for example, they believe in Nabi Adam, they believe in Nabi Ibrahim, they believe in Musa alayhi salam, but they call him Moses, right? And also they believe in Nabi Isa. But here what differs is, we say that Nabi Isa alayhi salam, or Jesus, we say that he's the prophet. He's a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he came down because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to continue on guiding the human beings. But when we look at Christians and what they say regarding Jesus, they say that either God has had a son and he sent him, or some of them say that God himself came as a form as human being. Here it contradicts. First of all, if we look at Christianity itself and we look at the Ten Commandments, and if we know the Ten Commandments, it will tell us that, listen, God himself is one. In Islam, what does it say? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Surah Al-Ikhlas, the surah of sincerity, right? Ikhlas is to have sincerity. So here we have sincerity, the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also when we go further into the surah, what does it say? لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ. What does this mean? I'm sure here the Sheikh can go because this is his part. I don't want to usurp his part. So here we see in Islam, it tells us the Tawheed. In Surah Al-Tawheed, that's also known as Surah Al-Ikhlas, right? Now when we go and we further look into it, first of all, when we look at the Tawheed, the Usul al-Din itself, when we learn about Usul al-Din, obviously I'm not going to go into details due to time, but when we look at Usul al-Din, how many Usul al-Din do we have? We have 5 roots of religion, which is Tawheed, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have Al-Adl, which is the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have Nabuwa, which is the prophethood. We have Imamat, which is Imamat, the Imams, the 12 Imams. And we have Ma'ad, which is the Day of Judgment. So here, Christians also believe in Ma'ad. They believe in the Day of Judgment. They say if you do not believe in the Day of Judgment, you cannot be a Christian. But here they differ when it comes to Nabi Isa alayhi salam and the last prophets. There are some minority of Christians who say that Jesus, he's not the Son of God, he's the prophet. But again, this is for a different discussion. But I just want to let you know that these type of Christians and this type of belief does exist out there. Now, when it comes to the birth of Nabi Isa alayhi salam, here, like our respected Sheikh has read, that the creation of Nabi Isa is the same creation as Nabi Adam. So the question is this: if Nabi Isa is the son of God, then what does that make Nabi Adam? Doesn't that also make Nabi Adam the son of God? This, if we're to use this in the debate or a discussion, respectful discussion with our Christian brothers and sisters, we will ask them, listen, Nabi Isa alayhi salam has a mother. And nowadays there are technologies to show that, look, I can put an embryo in a person and create a baby inside the mother's womb without the father being present. Right? Now, what about, can we do something without a father, without the mother? No. Why? Because in Islam or in science, what does it tell us? You have 23 chromosomes from your mother, 23 chromosomes from your father, which will make you half-half. Right? So if Nabi Isa is God, that will make him half God. Right? That will make him like the Greek god, Hercules. Right? Meaning what? You'll have 23 chromosomes, making a human being. But what about Nabi Adam alayhi salam? Doesn't he have more of a right in being the son of God? Right? So here we will go into this debate and they'll be like, no, Nabi Adam sinned. Nabi Adam made a mistake. He ate from the apple. Again, this is for a different discussion. I don't want to open this door right now. Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam he mentioned, he was asked about Nabi Isa alayhi salam. He says that Nabi Isa alayhi salam, the child born, he was one of the child born after 6 months of pregnancy. Who else was known to be born 6 months into pregnancy? Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Sallallahu alayhi wa. Also in Hayatul Qulub, volume 1, right, it speaks about Nabi Isa alayhi salam, where it says, possibility it was Yahya and not Isa in the hadith. And the writers of their narration might have misunderstood Isa for Yahya. So we say the beginning of the formation of the fetus of Isa might have started in the womb by that might of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the archangel Jibreel had blown a spirit, meaning a soul, into the fetus or pregnancy, might have become apparent only 9 hours prior to the actual birth. And it is also possible that this hadith might have been based on the taqiyya. Right? So this is according to Hayatul Qulub. Also now when we go into the birth of Jesus himself, some say Nabi Isa alayhi salam was born when? December 25th, which is today, which marks Christmas. But when we look into history, we won't find December 25th, brothers and sisters. We will find different dates. We will find different dates and we will never find December 25th. So far, Sheikh can correct me if I'm wrong. There's nowhere in history that I've read regarding Nabi Isa alayhi salam that he's born on December 25th. So, one of them says, one of the historians says that Nabi Isa alayhi salam was born on the night of the 25th of Dhul Qa'dah. Also, this is when Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam was born. So him and Nabi Isa share the same birthday. This is in Bihar al-Anwar, volume 14, page 206. Sallallahu Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Also, there's other narrations that record that he was born around 5 BC, which corresponds to 645 or 646 AH. So here, if we are to look at the calendar, this corresponds as October 22nd. When we look at the Islamic calendar, what's October 22nd? It's the 10th of Muharram. right? Or it says the 8th of September, which corresponds to the 25th of Dhul Qa'dah, 646 AH. And other historians have known to be written down regarding this. It says, if it was known that he was born on the opinion on 1 AD, the date of Nabi Isa alayhi salam, since we do not know when the year 0 AD of the calendar existed. It would be suggested that August 20th, the 10th of Muharram again, 639 AH, or July 7th, 25th of Dhul Qa'dah, 640 AH will be the actual birth of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. But nowhere have I mentioned what? The 25th of December. Right? So, who was born on the 25th of December? This is the question. Who was born on the 25th of December? Well, now when we go further into history, we read about history, and further down, what do we find? We find that there was a person or a god, you can say, that was born on the 25th of December. Who is this god? This god is the god of the Persian, which is the son of God. Right? His name is Mithras. Mithras is one of the Persian gods who is known to be one of the sons. Right? The sun. Who is God? They used to worship the sun. So this was Mithras. And he was born on December 25th. So if you read all the historians and you read 25th of December who was born, you can even Google it right now. If you want to accept this challenge, go ahead and Google it on your phone, and you will find this person, Mithras, son of God. Right? But nowhere you will see Jesus, son of Nazareth, Jesus, son of Mary, or Jesus, son of God, however way they refer to Nabi Isa alayhi salam, was born on the 25th of December. Now the last one is the coming of Jesus. Both Muslims and Christians agree that the re-coming of Jesus will happen. But what's the difference? The difference is we say he will come with the Imam of our time, Ajal Farj Sharif. If we look in the Bible, Acts 191, chapter 1, verse 9 to 11, it says, upon saying this, and while they were looking on, he was taken up, and a cloud carried him from their view. As they kept gazing intently towards the heavens as he was going away from them, two men in white clothing were standing by them, who also said, Men of Galilee, why do you stand gazing into the heavens? This very Jesus who has taken up from you into heaven will come again in the same way you have seen him going to heaven. So here basically it's saying Nabi Isa alayhi salam was raised into heaven. He was not killed. Right? They didn't kill him. Right? So we know that they did not kill him. They didn't crucify him. He wasn't killed, nor was he crucified on the cross. Right? But it was seemed like it was him. But in reality, it wasn't Nabi Isa alayhi salam that they crucified on the cross. So here, Nabi Isa alayhi salam will come to support our 12th Imam, Imam Ajul Farjum wa Sharif. Even it is said, even when the Imam comes, Nabi Isa alayhi salam will tell the Imam, you go lead the prayers. Why? Because it's the Imam's time and it's not the time of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. So here we see the similarities and differences between Islam and Christianity. So let us try not to get confused between the two, right? First, let's look at the Quran, let's look at the meanings, and let's look at history. Let's not just take the Quran and ignore history, right? Because what is the last khutbah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Where he says, I leave behind what? One weighty thing or two weighty things? He says two weighty things. The Quran and my Ahlul Bayt. Quran and Itrati. Right? There's some narrations that say Quran and Sunnah. But this is a weak narration. The strong narration is the Quran and Ma'itrati, meaning his Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So if we want to learn about Nabi Isa, who should we turn to? The Quran and the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Sallallahu alaihi
Muhammad.
Thank you, brother. Nice. Yes, and informative, some of the information. Again, brothers and sisters, this subject is extremely deep. And our children may get exposed. Now, I'm afraid to pose some questions, but I want you guys to ask so we can put the remedy on your questions, because this is what they do. Let's say, for the sake of argument, I will start something with you. If somebody came, and let's say for the boys, there is the most beautiful girl. She comes to you. And vice versa, for the girls, but and I say, what is your religion? And they say, well, Islam. So, oh, good, mine is Christianity. Okay, one for one, right? Who is the highest person? And you say, okay, it's Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, oh, fine, Salat ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. She tells you, because mine is Jesus. And who is yours? Mine is Prophet Muhammad. Well, mine is God. Jesus is deity to me. He's God. What's your answer here? He put something in the ground for you. Do you have an answer? If you don't, please. May Allah bless you all. And may Allah give a long life to Brother Muhsin, and He gets us to more sessions. Because we have to clarify these issues. Otherwise, really, truly, I've seen a lot of people fell into that trap. Okay? And then he said, what is your book? I said, well, my book is this Holy Quran. And I said, mine is this. Look, and it's much bigger than yours. You see? What is your answer? Truly speaking, what would be your answer? You see? Okay, you said that your prophet is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salat ala Muhammad. Please, I'm trying to open up something that they may ask you and you don't have an answer for it. Think with me now. Okay? Because inshallah, ask me so I could answer. All right? Now, for the sake of argument, okay, your prophet are you talking about the one that got married to about 14, 15 different wives and womanizers? You know that Jesus did not get married at all. Are you talking about the prophet that made so many wars, killed so many people, and Jesus is a man of peace? Isn't that right? Now, truly speaking, what would you answer? Dear brothers, what would you answer? If you don't have an answer, please, as I said, I don't want to make this one too long. What I want to do is right now to pause these questions so you'll be immune. And then you have an answer, strong answer. You see, for these. One issue I want to talk about right now, and that is the purity of the birth of Jesus, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had written in the Holy Quran. And look at the question mark that is written And I will show you. This is their book. Quran is our book. Right? Number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala extremely purified Maryam.
Subhanallah.
May Allah's peace and blessings be upon her. Look at the ayah. It is Al Imran 42. And he said, and remember when the angels said or told Maryam, verily Allah has chosen you, purified you, and chosen you above all the women of that time, mankind and the jinn. Okay? And then, you know the story. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I said, I don't want to get into too much of a detail, but please, Brother Muslim, Allah bless you, inshallah ta'ala. I'm willing to come, inshallah ta'ala, to set up more sessions, inshallah ta'ala. Inshallah ta'ala. This is Mary, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about, and how she became the worshipper, the Maryam, or the worshipper of the temple or of the place of worship of that place. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes into detail of how Gabriel, the archangel, came to her. And she said, I don't want you to come in. And she said, I am an angel from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I came to inform you and give you the glad tidings that you're going to have a baby, a pure baby. And then, now, up to here is good. And then she later on had a baby. This is in a very, very, very small summarized section. Inshallah, we will talk about it in more details, brothers and sisters. Now look at this story at the Bible. Okay? What did it say? It's 18, you know, Matthew 18, as it said here, and Luke 42. It says, this is how the birth of Jesus. And if you guys want, I read it from here, you know, but we read it here, and then later on, if you guys want it. This is how the birth of Jesus, the Messiah, came about. How did it came about? Please think with me. Okay? His mother, Mary, salamullahi alayha, was pledged to be married to Joseph. What does that mean to you? That means that she was fiancé, engaged to get married to Joseph, Yusuf the carpenter, Joseph the, you know. But before they came together, she was found to be pregnant. What kind of a question mark it gives you? Salam. This is not us, okay? I am reading it from here, brothers and sisters, okay? Please. I am not saying this is the Quran, I just read it for you. What Allah said about Mary, salamullahi alayha. So, before this, she was found pregnant through the Holy. Who said, where did it come from? What happened? What for? Because Joseph, her husband, was a faithful to the law, but he was upset. He said, I'm going to go, but yet he came back. You see, this is the story in the Bible. It poses a question. Whereas in the Holy Quran, it shows the purity, it puts the purity. You see? See what I'm saying? Now, I don't want to get into it because it's really to us. We believe in Jesus. We believe in all the prophets. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had sent 124,000 prophets. And they're all purified. Maybe it causes many questions. Right? What is this Bible? Where did it come from? How can I prove that Jesus is not being crucified? With all due respect, please, brothers and sisters, we do not say Jesus Christ. Christ means that he's been crucified. Now let me ask you a question. Yeah, maybe my dear beloved young ones here, boys and girls on the other side. If astaghfirullah, 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 if somebody came and killed your most beloved person, mother, father, brother, with a knife, would you make that knife a sacred? Would you make it holy? Tell me if you do or not. If that was true, that Jesus, peace be upon him, was put on the cross, why that cross is so holy to everybody? Isn't that a question? We don't believe that it is. Yes. If you go to all the Christianity and you see that they do the sign of the cross as a holiness, and this is their prayer. You see, subhanAllah. You make sacred, you make holy the place where. Anyway, to us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that he was not crucified, but a person was resembled. A person was resembled. Now why? Now let me put it in a different way. There's a bit of similarity, okay, in our faith and their faith. There's a person in our faith that they considered him, astaghfirullah, God, and we don't believe in him. And they consider him God. Okay, I mean, you know, Ali Allah, he is, if you guys know that, right? I don't want to get into it because we don't believe in it at all. But they say he's Allah, and they say he's Allah. The brother here said that he was born in 6 months. Imam Hussein was born in 6 months. So they consider him the symbol of sacrifice. You know what symbol of sacrifice means, right? In other words, just like we cry for our beloved Imam Hussein, they may sit down and say, oh, he was killed for our sins. But, my dear brothers and sisters, if, again, and I will prove that to you, inshallah, brothers and sisters, if I could, somebody, this is in English, all in English, this is in English, it's in the internet, just put that name in, and you can download that book. And the new version is this, it's in Arabic, Farsi, and English, and may one of you, inshallah, make it in English, and make it in Urdu. Somebody is very good in Urdu, inshallah ta'ala. So it'll be, all what we want is to guide people toward the light of Allah. Allahu nur as-samawati wal ard. No. Number one, it is written in the Bible, and inshallah, if somebody wants it, I'll show it to him, saying that anybody who has been hanged on a cross or a tree is doomed, is damned. It is written. Okay, Jesus has been there. We don't believe in that, okay? This is what is said in this book. But we don't believe in that. Number two, if Jesus, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, was that symbol of sacrifice that they are saying, why the night before? And this is written also in their book. It is written in their book. The whole night he was crying, saying, Ya Allah, please take this cup away from me. Don't let me be crucified. Imam Hussein, he asked for it. He said, the religion of my grandfather, Imam Hussein, I see it that it went astray. I want to bring it back. I want to put the religion on the right Islamic track. Jesus, salamullahi alayhi, he said, God, take this, whatever, killing, whatever, away from me. Take this cup away from me. Don't let me. Do we consider Allah is merciful? Do we consider Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you don't want something, He forces it upon you? Allah doesn't do that. So if he prayed, and it is in the Bible that Jesus was crying, saying, Ya Allah, I do not want this cup. I don't want to be crucified. I don't want to be killed. You see? So Allah took that cup away. That's why Allah said in the Holy Quran, I have raised you toward me. Now, how can we prove the second portion? We can prove the second portion also from this book. Once, you see, they went ahead, they caught Jesus. In the process, and people and whatever, and all the way to Rome, suddenly it was a different person. What is the proof? The proof is right here, the soldiers, the general, the officers who were there, they came and they said, "Are you Jesus of Nazareth?" Now you tell me, if the policeman caught somebody, would the general or the policeman say, "Are you so and so?" They've been caught, you see. And what was the answer of Jesus, salamullahi alayhi? He said, "You're saying I am." He didn't say I am. He said, "You are saying I am." I'm sorry, brother. I think I took a long time again. But I have asked Brother Moses to make other sessions because really, brothers and sisters, this is extremely deep. If I just sit down and pause questions, how can you prove that this is from Allah? How can you prove that Quran is from Allah? You know? How can you prove all of these? Anyway, most of it I have written it in this book. And you can Google it, you can print it, and you'll be very strong. This is what I want you to read. Our faith relies upon intellect. Our faith relies about cognitive answers, proving things. Hujjat Allah. Say, if you think this is not from Allah, prove it to me. This is Allah is saying this. So we need the power to prove. And inshallah, you will have that power to prove. And please bring all of your friends. I don't mind. Let them ask questions. After all, I devoted about 50 years of my life, for these information. And I want everybody to come and ask questions, so I'll clarify for them. Inshallah ta'ala. Anyway, sorry, brother, again. If I made it too long, forgive me. تفضل يا brother. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
MashaAllah, thank you, Mawla.
Thank you, brother.
Any questions regarding?
Yeah, please.
If you don't ask, I'll ask.
Yes, there is. Yes.
Yes.
So, I think one of the questions that's very relevant to our children who are seated here today, and with everything they see in the Western countries, Canada and the United States that you live in, one thing that's very relevant is they see a lot of symbolicism with Christmas. They see these Christmas trees, they see the lights. Windsor is known for its lights. They see the lights, they see, the reindeers and all of those different symbols of what they say is, somehow Christian. Fortunately or unfortunately, we don't have that in Islam. We don't symbolize things in this way. The Hindus also do this to a certain extent. This is very attractive to children. Obviously, it's very attractive to children. I might say that's attractive to me as well. So, if I'm being honest, I think one question is, do these symbols have any value in Christianity itself? The Christmas tree, the Santa Claus, the whole event in the way it's framed. So that's going to be my question.
Yeah. Go ahead. It was you. I took a lot of your time.
When it comes to symbolism and everything, most of these symbolism have nothing to do with Christianity. All of them has to do with culture. right? So with most of Christianity, or I want to say some of Christianity, some it's debatable. People can debate this, but it's whatever. I'm here for any discussions that they want. But when we go into history and we look into the history of these things, for example, Santa Claus or Father Christmas or whatever they want to refer him to him as, right? All of these were cultural. They were adopted from other cultures. So Christianity is like no problem because they want to attract people to their religion. So some of them use them as a business opportunity. So they're like, listen, you can practice your culture as long as you come into Christianity, right? You come under the fold of Christianity and practice any cultures you want, right? So for example, with the lights, the Christmas and the Christmas trees, Santa Claus, again, all of these are had to do with culture. Has nothing to do with the actual Christians itself or the religion of Christianity itself, according to my limited knowledge.
Thank you very much. I'm going to talk about certain things because I went to a Catholic school. So I read Bible from Genesis to John, the last chapter of it. So some basic information. Answering your question, like she said, and I learned it while my oldest daughter was 4 years old. There is a TV show called Caillou. I don't know whether you guys have watched Caillou or not, but in which they told the story that it was a little kid in Germany whose father was I think he worked in the forest, cutting trees in a lumber yard, and one day he brought his truck, which had some trees, and he left it there. So in the morning, he saw his son took a tree and put different ornaments on it. And he posted outside his house, Germany. And sooner people saw that everybody started having Christmas trees. And that's how that tradition started all over the world. And today people are having Christmas trees. What Sheikh is sad is that these kids believe more in Santa Claus than Imamism. They believe Santa is going to come from North Pole, but they don't believe that Imamism is going to come back. That is what we are lacking. Telling our superheroes are not the way they should be put forward to our children. They are not put forward. So that is the reason we are living in a Christian country where we see the Santa Claus coming in. And Santa Claus also was a saint. And he on the Christmas day will go in his neighborhood and deliver different gifts. So it started a tradition, and tradition is going on since that. Coming back to my 2 minutes, making it very, very simple because these are scholars. So their thing is with all the references they have. But for a simple thing, Sheikh, it all started from Prophet Abraham. He had two sons, Jacob and Isaiah. And Jacob, Jesus was begotten by Isaac. Ismail. So actually Muslims and Christians are first cousins, technically speaking. As to the teaching of Jesus Christ, we have not talked about the teachings of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, well, first of all, let's go to the second, which is called the New Testament of Bible, that Sheikh referred to, has got 5 books written by 5 different disciples. One was Mark, Luke, James, John, and actually John wrote the last book, which is called Revelation. And it is John who destroyed the Christianity by saying that because Jesus Christ died for the sins that God committed, that's the reason, Adam, but they believe that Jesus died for their sins. And he was crucified because of the sins. Although Quran contradicts the story that is taught in Mark, Luke, and John, and Matthew. So all these disciples wrote down these stories. None of them match with each other, unfortunately. So we do not know how authentic that is. But if you look in the teachings, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of teaching of Jesus Christ. For example, somebody came to him and told Jesus that X person hit me. So what should I do, Master? So he said that if somebody hits you on one cheek, give him the other cheek. If somebody asks you for a coat, give him your pants as well. So giving was the thing. He was showing God's mercy, but never did he claim that I am Son of God. Even with the fabrication in Bible, because Bible also has different versions. Unlike Quran is one book. Bible has different versions. For example, Catholics read a different version that has got 72 different books that make it a Bible. Correct. And then we have Protestants books that deletes 7 chapters out of it or 7 books out of it to make it 67 books put together as one book. So Jesus Christ never claimed to be the Son of God, like Agha said, that when he was brought in front of the authorities, they asked him, are you the one who calls himself Son of God? And he replied that it is not me who is saying that. It is you who is calling me. So he never claimed that I am the Son of God, or because of my miracle, believe me that I am Son of God. It is the people and his disciples years later decided to come up with the story. Unfortunately, since that time, Christianity has transformed so many times, and the Bible has been changed so many times. I'm just going to give you one example, and then I'm going to end that. For example, if you read their Catholic book, it says that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Begotten is a lower form of sex in animals. So when they looked at the dictionary, they found out that what begotten means. So in the Revised Standard Version, they removed the word begotten out of it. That God loved the world that he gave his only Son to this planet. So for us as Muslims need to know that we are on the right faith. We believe in Jesus Christ, especially the youth. Please, can I have your attention? We're talking and we're trying to learn here something. So we are living in a Christian country, and we sit down with our Christian friends. So we need to have a basic knowledge of their book and basic knowledge of our book. And I'm going to end with this thing that in Quran, Allah says that when Jesus will be brought back and he will be asked that did you tell them that you were a son of God? And he will say, surely I did not. I did not tell them. I told them what you told me to tell them. So Jesus will deny. And similarly, if you go in the Bible, Jesus Christ says that on the day of the judgment, people will come to me and say, oh Master, oh Master, oh Master, didn't we cast devil in your name? Didn't we worship you? And I will tell them, go away, I know you not. That's exact words from the Bible. So on the day of the judgment, when these people are going to come and say, all these priests and all these Christians are going to say, oh Lord, didn't we worship you on this earth? Didn't we cast devil in your name? And Jesus will say, go away, I know you not. Right? So it means if they were on the right path, Jesus will embrace them. He will tell them, you followed my teaching. But unfortunately, Quran says that his disciples never followed his teaching. And that is the reason they are in Ashray today. Versus Islam, which is the final testament of God. And Prophet Muhammad is the final messenger. And we are very lucky that we are from the nation of Prophet Muhammad and we are on the righteous path. With that, I'm gonna, if you guys have any questions, you can ask Sheikh and we will end the program after the questions.
Yes. Thank you, brother. There's one thing though, if I may add. If they say that Jesus is the Son of God, how about David? In another place, in the Old Testament, it said that he is the begotten Son of God. So who is right and who is not? Anyway, so صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Please, brothers, ask questions. So, yeah.
Any questions you have about Christianity?
They have question in their mind, but I think they are shy.
Oh,
They are
go
asking
ahead.
each other.
please.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask.
But I mean, okay, how about this? Can I, should it, how about this one? If some boy or girl or whoever came and asked you a question and you don't have an answer, what would you do? At least if you ask the question. I mean, I pause this one to you. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had 15 wives. Jesus didn't. Who is better? You see? Prophet Muhammad, he had about 70, 80 different battles. Jesus didn't. Oh, so he's a killer. What's your answer? Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Forgive me. He is the grandfather of Sayyid down here, you know. But I'm pausing. I want you to open your eyes. So you have an answer. What would you say? You see? So, and of course, don't forget that we have the Quran and we have the Bible. Now, what says that this book is from Allah? Do you have a proof? What would you say? Anyway,
Let's encourage the question.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
There's no stupid questions.
There's no.
Excuse my language. The only stupid question is the one that's not.
You don't know.
Okay? And I don't know is half the knowledge.
Yeah.
The other knowledge, the other half is getting to know whatever it is. So ask whatever it is.
And I will. Imam Ali, the grandfather again of the Sayyid down here says, it is better to be humiliated. You know, if you ask, of course, I'm not going to humiliate you, but in a figuratively speaking, it is better to be humiliated for asking the question and having the answer for 10 minutes. It is better than to be in a humiliation of ignorance for the rest of your life because you don't know the answer. Right? So that's from Amir Mu'mineen. So go ahead, inshallah. Whoever. Yes, brothers. Oh, yes, they can too. By all means.
I'm going to give the mic to the ladies' side, so if you have any questions, you can raise from this side.
Please.
I have a question.
Yes, brother.
You have a question?
Yeah, go ahead. No.
Okay, I have a question.
I have one suggestion and one question.
Okay.
One thing is I would like to appreciate this thing that the Batool arranged this event.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it's I think these sessions are very mandatory, especially for the youth, because they are the people who moved from Pakistan after 20s or 30s or even 50s. They know much better about Islam and they cannot be diverted very easily. But especially the youth, they can be changed from Muslim to Christianity, Nauzubillah, or something like that. I would like to share here one thing. I know a guy who is Shia Muslim. I met him in university twice, and this can be alarming for the parents sitting over here.
Yes.
That I asked in last 1.5 year. I have been here in Windsor for last 1.5 year, and I never saw that guy in Imam Barga for even once. And I asked him why you never came there, and he said, "Oh, I don't have time," and things like that. So it's appreciable. Here, in our community, the young children or kids, they are coming to Barga. That's appreciable. And I don't want that after 10 or 20 years, some of them get skipped from here.
Yes.
Thing is, if they will not get the true message and if they will not understand Islam, then how will they stick to it? And thing is, if they will just come to Barga and lament on Imam Hussain al-Islam and just listen the message of Aima Karam and something like that, then if they will just listen the other side of the picture about Christianity and questions which Allah raised, then they will not have any answer for that, and even they will not be able to ask their parents for that. They might be shy or something like that. So I suggest that such sessions can be arranged, even just for the kids. The sessions can be arranged so that Sheikh can directly answer them. Just like now they are shy to ask any question, but if they will be alone with Aga, then they can ask more questions on it.
And later on, if you have any questions
Yes,
that come
later
to your
on.
mind, you can send me in a text message,
Yes.
and we can send it to Aga to get the
Yes.
answer. But surely, let me add with the permission of Chef. Once you become 18, you are responsible for your own faith. Okay? Which means it was your job to know the search the truth. Right? Don't take it for granted that I'm born in a Muslim family, so whatever my parents are saying is right. You need to have your own research on different religions. At least have a basic knowledge so you can compare Islam with other religions and you know that you're standing on the truth. Right? Right now the truth is what my parents taught me. Right? I'm going to give you my example. I went to Catholic school. Right? I had Bible classes in the school. I read Bible. Did it change anything in my life? No, it didn't. But I got more knowledge. Now, if I'm speaking with the Christians, I can tell them, John said that, Matthew said that, Mark said that, right? So it just gives you information, but it makes your faith in God more solid, that you are on the solid footing. So, not here, when you get a chance at home, please try to learn, because our goal at the Batool is to propagate Islam. And this message is not Karbala message, this is not Ahl Bayt message, but this message is from Allah. This message is Quran. The story of Jesus is written in Quran. There are, I think, Surah Maryam. There's a surah on the name of mother of Jesus, right? So it is very important for us to all research. If you do not have any questions, we can conclude today's section. And if you have questions, please go ahead.
Write them down.
Okay, there is a question. What is the difference between Christ and a monk?
And a monk? Correct. A monk, okay. Yeah, the word Christ is from Christian. Yeah, thank you. The word Christ is the one that is on the cross. He became Christ. Christ, even crucified, even Christmas is Christ Mass. You guys know what that means, okay? So it's the Mass for Jesus, Salamullahi alayhi, which I just spoke about it, that he was not crucified. Allah said it in the Holy Quran, and they cannot prove it in their book. If they could prove it, let them do it. A monk is the one that devotes himself for his faith. They have a monk in Buddhism, they have a monk in Hinduism, and also some in Christianity. They say, I'm a monk, but they don't mean it in that sense, because their priests are not supposed to be getting married, their priests are not supposed to be owning things or having a children, having a wife. So that's the difference between a monk and Christ, right? Yeah. Did we answer?
The question is, if when the Jesus Christ comes back with Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam, will they both be on the same page?
Brothers, even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, all of the prophets, they have different levels. Imam al-Mahdi, Anjalallahu ta'ala, is higher than all, not only all of the angels, Jibreel, Gabriel, Mikael, Asinael, and Israfil. He is also higher than Abraham, higher than Moses, higher than Jesus, higher than all the prophets. All the prophets. The only one that may not be above is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Muhammad and Amir al-Mu'mineen sallallahu. Now, as a read, maybe he's on the level of I don't know, but if there is such a level, see, everybody knows. If I told you that he is a master's degree, everybody knows that he's higher than a bachelor degree, right? If I said he has a bachelor, he's higher than a high school. Isn't that right? Now, this is our 12 apostles, And this is Jesus, Salamullahi alayhi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jesus, so he will be coming back. Today there is, just as Muslims, we have about 2 billion Muslims on the face of the earth, there are about 2 billion Christians on the face of the earth, and he comes and he will be under the flag of our 12 apostles, Salamullahi alayhi. So everybody will know that there is Islam and Christianity is the second one down, and they believe in Islam and they go forward. I'm so proud of you, ladies, that they ask questions. Thank you. Yes, so that's right. But inshallah, is she there? Yes. Yeah, please. I'm sorry, brother. I don't want you can answer. I don't want to take your time. Yeah.
Now, like Sheikh said, I'm sorry. We need to understand that the disciples of Jesus Christ came up with a new theory, and that is called Trinity. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. They are not three, they are one. Right? So when he's in heaven, he's God. When he's in between, he's the Holy Ghost. And when he comes on the earth, he becomes Jesus. So 3 in 1. While that is the same argument that the Christians of Prophet Muhammad, time of Prophet Muhammad, presented to the Prophet. That 2 different things. Number 1, that Jesus was born without a father, and Allah replied that if that is something big for you, that he was born without a father, what about Adam? He didn't have father or mother. So Adam is better. So Quran answered all the questions of the Christians at that time, and they still were butting heads with the Prophet Muhammad on the Trinity theory, and at this time, when I read, I think, third surah, verse 51, where Allah Ta'ala says to tell them to bring your sons, and will bring our sons, and bring their daughters, and will bring our. So whoever is untrue will have the curse of Allah on them.
I have a question from Sheikh.
Yes.
Like, does Bible say anything about advent of Hazrat Isa with Imam Mahdi?
No. All what it is that they said that they're waiting for his second coming. But under whom, for what?
There is one that says the coming of
The coming. Yeah.
comfort.
Oh,
I forgot the verse.
well, we believe that he meant
Yes, and that's what I'm saying.
the
coming of God.
Paracletus.
Yes.
Yeah. If you, inshallah, brother, if you download at the beginning, there is a little bit about how can we prove the coming of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi, his grandfather, Sayyid Musa's grandfather. How can we prove it in the Bible? Can we prove it in the Bible? Yes, we can. You see? And we can go to, inshallah, go there, because I said this needs another session, and I don't want to take everybody's time. But inshallah, some other time when brother invites us, inshallah ta'ala. And please do come and bring everybody with you, and come with questions. Let me tell you this, so you will understand. And I know probably they're putting it on YouTube and everything. I had many television interviews, and I told them, if you can prove, now the word is proof, that means that you bring evidence, that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is wrong, or I cannot prove it from this book, or you can prove that there is a mistake in this holy book that is called Quran, I will be the first one to turn into your religion, whatever it is. So this is, I'm saying it with total confidence. I want you all to be with this evidence and confidence, inshallah. I don't want anybody to lose Islam, because Judgment Day, it's only Islam, brothers and sisters. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the leader. Yes, Jesus is one of the prophets. Salamullahi alayhi. Matter of fact, he's one of the highest 5 prophets that Allah said among the 124,000. You see? But the word Paracletus, or the comforter, this is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Yes, brother.
So what's their belief of what's their belief on second coming of Jesus then?
That he will come, and the word, it is going downhill. Because, the word is going downhill, and he will come and correct with Imam Zaman, Jalal Ta'ala Baraj al-Sharif, the downfall of humanity. I'm sorry, brother, go ahead. What do you want to say? Yeah.
So to answer
Oh,
the
there's a
the
question.
theology is the same. They
Yeah.
also believe that when Jesus Christ will come, he will
Yeah.
reform
Yeah,
everybody on this
reform.
planet.
There we go.
And we also believe that he will come following Hazrat Mahdi,
Yeah.
And they will both reform. And that will also bring peace for the Christians and the Muslims. Because if Jesus Christ comes on this earth and he says that Mahdi is the right, what you are learning is wrong, what will happen? All the Christians will become Muslims. And there will be peace on this earth.
This is a beautiful question. Read it, brother, so I could answer. How was Mary, salamullahi alayha, she was covered? Go ahead.
Yeah. How was Lady Mariam's veil?
Sisters.
Because according to the picture, she was not appearing with the full veil.
Yes.
It's like the veil of Lady Fatima or less, which is required here today.
I'm gonna challenge everybody, just write or bring the pictures of the nuns. You see? Just the pictures of the nuns. And then, inshallah, they're listening. And then also compare it to Salamullahi alayha, Maryam, the Virgin Maryam, Al-Adra, Maryam, Salamullahi alayha. You see? I could do that, brother. Just write pictures of the nun. You see, there, the brother is showing. Look at them. Yeah, show. Can we show this? Yeah, can we put this? Yeah, mashallah. Look. Well, of course, I wish the sisters would see it too. She is fully covered. Fully covered. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told our beautiful ladies in the Holy Quran that they should be covered as such. And this is a picture of a nun. It is not a picture of Mary. Now you think about how Mary was, with such a chastity, with such a beautiful veil that she had. Thank you, sister. Good question. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, go ahead.
Why didn't Jesus have a dad?
Okay. Why didn't Jesus have a dad? Good question. Beautiful question. But it may have another question. Does God, Allah, needs to perform miracles by bringing a son to the world without a dad? Can he do that? Can he do that? Yes? For sure. Thank you. He can. What is the proof? Allah brought a camel without any dad or a mom. A camel brought it from a mountain. Just, a mountain. Allah said, be, and there was a camel without a camel father or a camel mother, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought a sheep. The sheep of Abraham. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. Without any mom, without any dad, suddenly an angel showed up with a sheep, and it said, there is a sheep, yeah, Abraham, and he sacrificed the sheep, right? And also, our grandfather, our great-great-great-grandfather, Adam, alayhi salam, right? He didn't have neither father nor mother. He just, Allah told the angels, make it, and he made it. Jesus himself, Allah told him, in order to show the people that you are my representative, that's Allah's representative, he said, go and take a bird and say, be alive, and you'll be alive. Just take a mud, put it together. You see? Nice question. Beautiful. Yeah. I'm sorry, brother. I hope you have an answer. Okay. Yeah, go ahead if you guys have an answer. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
You guys are elders.
Yeah, older. There you go.
They are shy. They are shy, and he wasn't.
Every
Yeah,
prophet,
mashallah.
yeah, every prophet of Allah was given special powers, right? Prophet Solomon has special powers.
Write it down. You don't have to write down the name. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
write what.
And I won't look who's writing.
So every prophet of Allah was given special powers, and Jesus at his time was given a very special power of medicine. I think at that time when Jesus was there, medicine was a big thing. And that is the reason Jesus was given a power where he will touch the dead and they will be alive. He will touch people with leprosy. And he said that I do not do it by myself. I do it with the will of God, my Father, according to Christians. Right? And talking about the faith, which is a very important thing, one day Jesus Christ was giving a sermon and somebody asked him a question, Master, what is faith? Define me faith. And Jesus Christ said that if you have a faith equal to a grain in your left hand, you can crush the mountain with the other one. So Aqidah is so important. And we have to keep our Aqidah, our faith, in Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad and in their teaching.
Can I ask you a question? Sure. Shifta, one question I have is, it's not, it might not be relevant to our youth right now, but maybe it is actually. Our Salafi counterparts, I don't like to, I'm not going to say brothers, but maybe they're brothers, but our Salafi brothers and friends are very active in Batool Islam. They're very active in this country, in Europe, in different places. They're very active in doing what we're doing today, trying to take out the, show the uyub, show the problems in the text of Christianity and bring them out and show how, there are nuts, there are problems, there are all of that. We're not so. I mean, as a community, as Muslims, other Muslims, as Shia people, we're not so active on this front. Is this because Islamic da'wah is not very encouraged in our faith, in our aqidah, or is it because of any other reason?
Brother, the da'wah, okay? The hadith says, there's a hadith from the grandfathers of Sayyid here, down here, says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will spread the religion of Islam. Now I'm saying religion of Islam. Okay, then you have to search for the belief of Ahlul Bayt. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will spread the religion of Islam even by the worst and the fasiq and the sinner. One example, I love him to death, don't take me wrong, is Muhammad Ali. You think Muhammad Ali was an imam? You think Muhammad Ali was a masoom? You think, matter of fact, he had children without a wife, how could I put it? But if you today make a search and a survey of who spread Islam in our era, it is Muhammad Ali. You see? So spreading Islam, brother, does not need that person to be extremely, religious or mu'min, or anybody can spread Islam because of this hadith. Islam will be spread even by the hands of the fasiq. Okay? So if they spread Islam, jazahum Allah khair. But the question is Saddam Hussein was Islam, and I don't want to get into the politics, forgive me, bringing the names. Just by being a Muslim we're not Christians. It's to just be believer in Jesus and you go to heaven. For us, it's not that. You see?
Many of our Shia people believe in Shifa. They do think that you'll go to heaven. We all,
No, it is not. Brothers, it is, okay, I mean, that's a different subject. Now we get into it, and I'm afraid who said that? Who said it? If I bring a hadith from the 14 masooms that we have, they all say, This is a small hadith from the grandfather of Sayyid to his grandmother, Fatima Zahra. He said, "Ya, my daughter Fatima, please work hard. Judgment Day, I cannot help you." There is a hadith, and I'll bring it to you, inshallah. So if this is Prophet Muhammad, and this, and he's Masoom, right? And this is Az-Zahra, and she's Masooma, right? And this is what he is telling her, then who am I to say that I just believe and you go to heaven? It's true. You say, forgive me. Forgive me.
So
Okay.
there's a question by the youth from the youth. It says, how can I prove to a Christian that Jesus is not the Son of God? And how to prove the Trinity? Basically, how can I disprove the Trinity to a Christian? Sorry, I reworded your question. So I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna divide this question into two. So I'm gonna answer the first part, and I'll let the respected Sheikh answer the last part, which has to do with the Trinity. So the first part is, how can you prove that Nabi Isa alayhi salam is not the Son of God? So let's go back to Usulity. Let's go back to Aqaid class, right? We have the necessary existence, the possible existence, and the impossible existence, right? So the necessary existence here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one else can be necessary existence. And we're going to explain this later on, inshallah. The possible, yes, wajibul wujud. And then there's mumkinul wujud, which is possible existence. So best way to do this, a possible existence is someone, right, has the possibility of having a child. Right? So that person's child or that child or whatever is a possible existence. Right? So something is possible for it to happen. Now, impossible existence is the best way to understand it is someone being their father and their own son at the same time. So for example, John, can you be your father and John at the same time? No, it's impossible, right? It's either you're John or you're the father of John, right? Thank you. Okay, so you see here, this is impossible. This can never happen. Now, the necessary existence is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, if someone was to say, Jesus is the Son of God, okay, fine. First of all, who created Jesus? Right? Or who created this person? They'll be like, this person did. Who put this person in existence? This person, this person, this person. And all the way it will lead back to a necessary existence, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Now, if we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to give birth, able to beget a son, or able to have a son, that means what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something had to put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in existence. That means he's no longer the necessary existence. We have demoted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from necessary existence to possible existence. Because only the possible existence is able to do this, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is outside of time. Right? Now, with this, here, this is one way you can go by proving how Nabi Isa alayhi salam is not the Son of God. Another way you can go is Nabi Adam alayhi salam. You can ask them, why do you say that Jesus is the Son of God? And they'll tell you, oh, because 1, 2, 3, they'll give you all their proofs. Okay. Where is it in the Bible that says that Jesus himself says that I am the Son of God? Nowhere. Right? Nowhere in the Bible that says that Jesus comes himself and says, I am the Son of God. And also, if we look at the authors of the Bible, it's not Jesus himself. Right? And the true believer of Jesus was Simon Peter. Right? He was a true disciple of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. He was Simon Peter. And if we look at the works of Simon Peter, there's no way in his works that he says that Jesus himself said that he is the Son of God. Right? So if we study the history of the Bible, right, we will be able to do this. And if we take the Bible and compare it to the Quran, here we can prove it with that and also by using logic. Now, I'll let the respected Sheikh answer the last part, which is how to disprove the Trinity of Christianity.
Inshallah, brother, thank you. You can also ask them, say, okay, you say he is the Son of Allah. prove that he is, you can go that way too. You don't have to sit down and disprove. Just say, you prove to me that he is the son of Allah, and I will believe you. Let him prove it. There's a Bible, the brother says, black and white. In this whole Bible, let him bring one place that Jesus said, I am the Son of God. Others said, it's okay. Others said, but he himself, there is about 24 places, if I'm not mistaken, that in every place he said, the Son of Man. This is what he called himself. Anyway, I'm sorry, I extended my brother's answers. Trinity. Again, prove to me that three is one. Can anybody on this face of the earth prove that three is one? Nobody can prove that, my dear brothers and sisters over there. You see? Three is three. Matter of fact, three cannot be three unless if the wujud was five. Because if you need this to identify this from this, which is two, there must be a space or something in the middle. See, this is my brother down here sitting down, right? How would you distinguish me from him? There is a difference, right? Something, otherwise my face and his face was exactly in the same place. Isn't that right? Same thing if it was the third one, if Brother Mohsen was standing right here, how would I know these three are one? If three can be one, why don't four be one? Think with me. Can four be one? Just three can be one? How about five? Can five be one? Can six be one? So anyway, you tell them, you prove to me that three is one, and we come with you. And he cannot. There is no way he can prove three is one. Three is three identities. One is a completely different identity. And I will tell you, I spoke with some of the priests, and they used to say, well, God is like a triangle. You see? Triangle is one, but it has three angles. You see? I said, well, what about a rectangle? You see? What about a rectangle? So if that can be three in one, this can be four in one. What about a rectangle? Or hexagon? And I go forward, 6, 7, 8, octangle, 8, 9, 10. You see? So actually, they are talking about polytheism, and they don't know that they are talking about polytheism. You see? Anyway, brother gave a good, deep answer, though it's a philosophy. Allah, inshallah. Yes. Sorry, brother. That's nice. Yes. Well, Brother Mohsen, I have to give it to you. I really, truly enjoy, because this is what we need. I think our people go to school. Remember, 12 years of every day going to school. If we do not raise these questions, God forbid, I've seen some, they get lost. And they do not come like, what is he, the brother that was sitting here? It will be, then he will be ashamed of coming and asking a question. Sorry, brother, go ahead. There it is.
With that, we want to thank Dr. Ansari for coming from Detroit, Michigan. We also want to thank Sheikh Naim. They are Batool. So it means when you go home and if something comes to your mind, just send a message, send a question, and we'll forward it to them, and they will answer, inshallah. And inshallah, we'll keep.
I see here in a Catholic school the Our Lady Fatima.
Yes.
Who is she, the lady?
It takes a little time. Do you want me to explain? Okay, it's quickly. Yeah.
I think we will have the rest of the discussion with chai and samosa. Yeah, because the salat time is going to be very close, right? So with that, we'll end our discussion. And inshallah, Sheikh is here. We're here. We'll ask questions, and inshallah, we'll go from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Salawat.
Muhammad.
You're welcome.
I'm like, and all I can do is
Please, brother, you're the, I'm the visitor. No, thank you for the honor. Thank you.
Again, I'm a student.
Sayyid. Forgive me a step. I worked for the student 20 years. It was something I consider myself. I'm a student. Never